Hello guys, today we will discuss the play The Country Wife, and our discussion will be in ordered manner, beginning with introduction and ending with summary. So first of all, let's be introduced with the introduction of the play. William Wycherley's The Country Wife was written and first performed in London. In 1675, the play is one of the most famous examples of British restoration comedies. During the Commonwealth era, theatre was banned in England for 18 years, that means from 1642 to 60. During the Restoration era, between 1660 and about 1700, with his return to the throne in 1660, King Charles II encouraged not only the reinstatement of the theatre but also the production of the plays with lascivious content and language. Restoration comedies had complicated romantic plots, often featuring a mixture of working class and members of the aristocracy. After Puritan control during the Commonwealth era, artistic responses like The Country Wife adopted a clear anti-Puritan stance. But even in this moment of permissiveness, the play was considered scandalous and was actually banned from the stage between 1753 and 1924. The Country Wife, based on a compilation of Molière's The School for Husbands, 1661, The School for Wives, 1662, and Terence the Eunuch, published in 161 BC, is about marriage, infidelity, and male friendships. What we know from this introductory section, we find that the play Country Wife was written by William Wycherley and was first performed in London in 1675, and this is one of the most famous examples of British Restoration comedies. And before the Restoration era, we find the Commonwealth era, and during this era, which exists between 1649 to 60, theatre was banned for 18 years. From 1642 and 60. During the Restoration era, between 1660 and around 1700, we find that with his return to the throne in 1660, King Charles II encouraged not only the restatement of the theatre, that means he encouraged the reopening of the theatre that was banned for 18 years during Commonwealth era, but also the production of plays with lascivious content and language which are forbidden in the Puritan or Commonwealth era. Restoration comedies had complicated romantic plots, often featuring a mixture of working class and members of the aristocracy. That is a salient feature of Restoration comedies. After Puritan control during the Commonwealth era, that means from 1649 to 60, artistic responses, for example, The Country Wife, adopted a clear anti-Puritan stance. But even in this moment of permissiveness, that means in Restoration era, the play, that means The Country Wife, was considered scandalous and was actually banned from the stage between 1653 and 1924. The play Country Wife was based on a compilation of Molière's The School for Husbands, 1661, The School for Wives, 1662, and Terence the Eunuch, 1661, that means 161 BC. And this play is about marriage, infidelity, and male friendships. Now we will be introduced with the main characters of this comedy. So let's start. The main characters of this comedy are Harry Horner, a notorious London womanizer who is the protagonist of the play; Jack Peacewife, a middle-aged London man newly married to the rustic Margery; Margaret Peacewife, the attractive young country wife of the title. Margaret is newly married to Jack Peacewife. Elithia Peacewife, the younger sister of Jack Peacewife, who wants to marry her off for financial reasons. Frank Harcourt and Mr. Doliland, British friends of honor. Mr. Sparkish, a shallow, foolish playboy who considers himself wrongly a wit. Lucy, Lithia's clever and sensible maid servant. Here we find the main protagonist of this play is Harry Horner, who is a notorious London womanizer. And there we find, in this part we find a family that is called Peacewife family and 3 members of the family. The head of the family is Jack Peacewife and his wife Marguerite Peacewife and Elithia Peacewife, who is the younger sister of Jack Peacewife, and he wants to marry her off for financial reasons. Moreover, there we find friends of Harry Horner. They are Frank Harcourt and Mr. Doliland. And another character, Mr. Sparkish, a shallow, foolish playboy who considers himself wrongly a wit. And Lucy, Elithia's clever and sensible maid servant. Here we find almost 7 characters in this introductory part. Then we find in the next part we find some other characters. They are Sir Jasper Fidget, a man of business who derives no end of amusement from the humor of Honor's importance. Sir Jasper Fidget, Lady Fidget, the wife of Sir Jasper Fidget, she is much younger than her husband and a leading figure in the Versailles gang. Lady Fidget, the unmarried sister of Sir Jasper Fidget. Like Lady Fidget, she is a member of the Versailles gang. Mistress Squamish, a young unmarried woman related to the Fidgets. Like Lady Fidget, she is a member of the Versailles gang. Old Lady Squamish, the grandmother of Mistress Squamish, she strives in him to preserve her granddaughter's purity. The quack, the doctor whom Horner insists to spread the rumor of his importance. The boy, Horner's servant. In this second or last part we find 7 characters there, and here also we find a family that is called the Fidget family and 3 members of the family here also. There the head of the family is Sir Jasper Fidget. He is busy with his business. Lady Fidget, that means the wife of Sir Jasper Fidget, and he is the leading figure of the Versailles gang, who is included Deities Fidget, that is the unmarried sister of Sir Jasper Fidget, and Mr. Squamish, a young unmarried woman related to the Fidgets. And there also find old lady Squamish, the grandmother of Mr. Squamish, and she always wants in him to preserve her granddaughter's purity. The quirk, the doctor whom Honor enlists or forces to spread the rumor of his importance, and how he circulate the rumor we will learn during the discussion of the summary. The boy, his Honor's servant. And this comedy is consisted of 5 acts. We will discuss them one by one. So let's start with the act 1 of the play. In Act 1, we find that Harry Horner pursues his daughter a quack to spread a rumor all over the town that she has contracted venereal disease, and while being treated for this by a French surgeon, he has accidentally been made important. That means Harry Horner, that means the protagonist of the play, pursues his daughter quack to spread the news that he has been made accidentally important, and the cause of his importance is also placed here. That is the cause of venereal disease, and when he was treated by a French surgeon, he has been accidentally made impotent. That means he is incapable of having sex with any woman. As soon as the rumor has been circulated, Sir Jasper Frizet, a businessman who works in the city, comes to leave his wife Lady Frizet and her companions Mrs. Daisy Frizet and Mrs. Squamish in Honor Square. As soon as the rumor has been circulated, the businessman Sir Jasper Frizet, as he is busy with his business, so he has no time to spend with his wife as well as her companions. So he decides to leave his wife Lady Frizet and his unmarried sister Daisy Frizet and Mrs. Squamish in Honor Square. When they are told that honor is important, however, the ladies who are recruited for their virginity are disgusted and refuse to stay with him. As they are talking, Sparkish arrives. They insult him and ask him to leave. Sparkish is off just in time for Mrs. P's wife to arrive. He has not heard the rumors about Honors and becomes extremely jealous when Honor inquires about his wife and suggests that she may make his wife's couple. His wife replies that his wife is too simple and stupid to be taken into town, and so he plans to leave her at home. He is only in town briefly to arrange Sparkish marriage with his sister Elithia. To tease him, Honor tells his wife that he saw him at the theatre the previous night with a beautiful young woman. His wife is insulted and storms out, and Honor understands from this reaction of his wife that this woman is his wife. In Act 1, we find that the protagonist Honor persuades his doctor to spread the rumor that he is important. And as soon as the rumor has circulated all over the town, Sir Jasper Frizet, who is actually busy with his business and has no time to spend with his wife, decides to leave his wife and Lady Frizet and his unmarried sister Mrs. Daisy Frizet and Mrs. Squamish in Honor Square, because he has no fear to be that his wife as well as sisters and their companions Mrs. Squamish can be seduced by Honor because he is important. But when the ladies who are famous for their virginity come to know that Honor is important, they are disgusted and refuse to stay with him. And when they were talking, another character, Sparkish, who is proud. He is proud because he considers himself weak. So he arrives and all the women insult him and ask him to leave. And Sparkish leaves just as soon as the Sparkish is off. Another character, that means another character, Mr. P's wife, arrives. But he has not heard the rumor that Honor is important and becomes extremely jealous when Honor inquires about his wife and suggests that she may make his wife a cuckold. His wife replies that his wife is a country woman and she is not able to cuckold with her husband just like a London woman. And in order to, and he also tells that he is in town briefly to arrange a Sparkish marriage with his sister Elithia. And in order to tease him, Honor tells his wife that last night he saw him at the theatre with a beautiful young woman. His wife is insulted and storms out, and Honor, from this reaction of his wife, comes to know that this woman is his wife. This is the Act 1. And next we will discuss Act 2. In Act 2, we find that at his wife's house, his young wife Marguerite complains to Elithia that his wife will not let her go out and enjoy the town. She tells Elizabeth that she going to the theater the last night before found the actors extremely handsome. When Pesach returns, Margaret begs his wife to let her go into the town, and Pesach tells her that she cannot go because if she does, young men may fall in love with her. This only increases Margaret's enthusiasm. So Pesach tells her that a man has already seen her at the theater and is in love with her. Margaret is excited by this and begs to know the young man's name. So Pesach locks her in her room to punish her. Just then Sparkish arrives with his friend Harcourt to visit Elithia and to show his fiancée off to his friend. Harcourt falls in love with Elithia instantly and begins to court her brazenly in front of Sparkish. Although Elithia protests, Sparkish does not notice and seems incapable of jealousy. At the theater, Elithia is still protesting because Sparkish plans to seat her with Harcourt. Lady Fizet, Mrs. Deity Fizet, and Mrs. Squamish arrive at the Peacewife's house to take Margaret to see the play. Peacewife sessions them off, much to their amusement. While they wait for Jasper, Lady Fizet, Mrs. Deity Fizet, and Mrs. Squamish feel that men no longer seek out horses women to have appears with. While they are talking, Sir Jasper arrives with honor and Orlean and tells the ladies that this young man will take them to the theatre. Ladies are horrified and refuse. Doriland leaves, but Honor takes Lady Fizet aside and whispers to her that he is not actually important and says that he has lied for her sake to get close to her. Thoroughly flattered, Lady Fizet persuades the others to allow Honor to take them out. Sir Jasper rushes off to attend to persuades the others to allow Honor to take them out. Sir Jasper rushes off to attend to business, feeling very pleased with himself and the entertainment he has provided for his wife. In say that we find that Mrs. Peacewife, that means Margaret Peacewife, is eager to stay in the town, and he also she becomes nostalgic because she went to the theater the last night and found the actors extremely handsome. So she again wants to attend the theater. But her husband, Mr. Peacewife, do not allow her to go into the town. So this is Peacewife, that means Marguerite begs Peacewife to let her go into the town. And Peacewife tells her that if she goes out in the town, then the young man may fall in love with her. And this statement or this information of Mr. Peacewife increases Margaret's enthusiasm. And Mr. Peacewife also tells her that a man already has seen her in the theater and has fallen in love with her. And this is also excited Margaret, and she begs to know the man's name. So his wife locks her in her room to punish her. Just then Sparkish, that means the fiancé of Elithia, arrives with his friend to show him his fiancée. Harcourt, as soon as Harcourt saw her, he falls in love with Elithia and in front of Sparkish begins to court her. Although Elithia protests, Sparkish doesn't notice and seems incapable of jealousy. At the theater, Elithia also protests still because Sparkish plans to seat her with Harcourt. On the other hand, we find that Lady Fizet, Mrs. Deity Fizet, and Mrs. Squamish arrive at Peacewife's house to take Marguerite away to the theater. and peace wife searches them off, much to the amusement of these three ladies. While they wait for Sir Jasper, that means the three ladies are Lady Frigate, Mrs. Frigate, and Mrs. Skirmish wait for Jasper. Lady Frigate, uh, they feel that men no longer want virtuous women to have affair with. Well, that means they are though though they have a reputation for being virtuous, but they innerly wants to fall in love with the men. They also wants to be shot by men, and we find that Jasper arrives with honor and Dodland and tells the ladies that this young man will take them to the theatre. Ladies are horrified and refuse to go with them. And ultimately, Dodland leaves, and Honor takes Lady Frigate aside and whispers to her that he is not actually important, and also says that he has lied for her sake because he wants to get close to her. And thoroughly flattered, Lady Frigate also persuades the others to allow Honor to take them out. So Jasper rushes off to attend his business, and he is very pleased with himself and the entertainment he has provided for his wife. This is Act 2. In Act 3 we find Margaret is still cooped up in Peacewife's house, forces Peacewifes to take her into town. He agrees to on the condition that she dress up like a man so that Honor and his friends will not recognize her. Elithia and her maid Lucy accompany them. Honor, Harcourt, and Dodland are also in the town, and Harcourt tells Honor that he is in love with Elithia, Sparky's fiancée. Honor tells him that Sparkish will help him to woo her, and Sparkish joins them at that moment. As they are talking, Peacewiffe, Margaret, Elithia, and Lucy walk past, and the man asks who is the young man among them. Peacewiffe says that the young man, who is actually Margaret in disguise, is his wife's brother. Sparkish begins to push Harcourt and Elithia together and implore her to forgive Harcourt for offending her that morning. Meanwhile, Honor begins to flirt with Margaret because he actually recognizes her and kisses her in front of his wife. His wife, desperate to get Margaret away from Honor, tries to hail a carriage, but while he is gone to hail a carriage, Honor leads Margaret away down another street. Peacewiffe is frantic when he returns, but Margaret reappears a few moments later with a bundle of fruit that Honor has given her. The Jasper Frigate arrives and reminds Honor that he must take the ladies to the theatre. He leads Honor off and leaves a disgruntled Peacewiffe in the street. In Act 3, we find that Margaret still cooped up in Peacewife's house, and ultimately she forces Peacewiffe, that means her husband, to take her away into the town on the condition that she dress up like a man so that the Honor and his friends will not recognize her. Elithia and her maid Lucy also accompany them. And Honor, Harcourt, and Dodland are also in the town, and Harcourt tells Honor that he is in love with Elithia, Sparkish fiancée. Honor advises him that Sparkish will help him to woo her, and Sparkish also joins them at that moment. As they are talking, Peacewiffe, Margaret, Elithia, Lucy walk past, and the man asks them who is the young man among them. Peacewiffe says that the young man is his wife's brother, though the young man is actually Margaret in disguise. Sparkish begins to push Harcourt and Elithia together and implored her to forgive Harcourt for offending her that morning. Meanwhile, Honor begins to flirt Marguerite and kisses her in front of Peacewife. Peacewife, desperate to get Marguerite away from Honor, so he tries to hail a carriage, and while he is gone, Honor leads Marguerite away down on another street, and Peacewife is frantic when he returns. But Marguerite, after some time, returns with a bundle of food that Honor has given her. So Jasper Frizet arrives and reminds Honor that he must take the ladies, that means his wife and her companions, to the theatre. And ultimately he leads Honor off and leaves a disgruntled Peacewife in the street. That is Act 3. The next act, that means Act 4, begins in the next morning. Sparkish arrives at Peacewife's house to marry Elithia. However, the person he has brought with him to conduct the wedding is really Harcourt in disguise. Elithia easily sees this trick and refuses the wedding, much to the confusion of Sparkish. Meanwhile, Peacewife grills Marguerite about the time she spent alone with Honor the evening before. When Marguerite tells Peacewife that Honor put his tongue in her mouth when he kissed her, Peacewife can no longer contain his jealousy and forces Marguerite to write a letter to Honor in which she tells him that she finds him disgusting and will not tolerate his advantages. Marguerite is upset because he has fallen in love with Honor and thinks of a way to trick her husband. Since he has taught Marguerite to write letters, which before she did not know how to do, she writes a second letter to Honor in which she confesses her love to him. When Mr. Peacewife returns with the letter seal, Marguerite swaps the letters and seals the second one. Honor is at home with a quack who is impressed what he hears, and even more impressed when Lady Frizet arrives alone. Honor ushers the quack behind a screen and Doctor watches as Lady Frizet throws herself at Honor. The pair begins to fondle each other but are interrupted by Sir Jasper. Lady Frizet thinks quickly and tells her husband that he is tackling Honor to steal some of Honor's fine china. Sir Jasper watches in amusement as Lady Frizet rushes into another room and locks the door. Honor rushes in after her and Sir Jasper laughs at the sounds coming through the door. In this part, we find that Sparkish arrives. Sparkish, that means the fiancé of Elithia, arrives Peacewife's house to marry Elithia. But the person he has brought with him to conduct the wedding is actually Harcourt in disguise. And Elithia comes to recognize the tricks and refuse the wedding, much to the confusion of Sparkish. Because Sparkish doesn't know that the person he has brought is Harcourt in disguise. Meanwhile, Peacewife also asks Marguerite about the time she spent alone with Honor the evening before. And in reply, Marguerite tells Peacewife that Honor put his tongue in her mouth when he kissed her. Peacewife becomes so jealousy and forces Marguerite to write a letter in which he tells her to express or to tell him that she finds him disgusting and will not tolerate his advances to avoid Honor. But Marguerite is upset because she has fallen in love with Honor and thinks a way to trick her husband. And she wrote another letter, that means the second letter to Honor, in which she confesses her love to him. And when Peacewife returns with the letter seal, Marguerite swaps the letters and seals the second one instead of the first one. Honor is at home with Quirk, who is impressed by what what he hears, and even more impressed when Lady Quizet arrives alone. Honor ushers the quack behind a screen and Doctor watches as Lady Quizet throws herself at Honor. The pair begin to fondle each other but are interrupted by Sir Jasper, that means the husband of Lady Quizet. Lady Quizet thinks quickly and tells her husband that she is trickling Honor to steal some of Honor's fine china. Sir Jasper watches in amusement as Lady Quizet rushes into another room and locks the door. Honor rushes in after her and Sir Jasper laughs at the sounds coming through the door. In the last part of Act 4, we find Mrs. Squamish arrives moments later and tries to break into the room. Honor and Lady Quizet emerges from the room, Lady Quizet carrying some china, and Mrs. Squamish tries to persuade Honor to give her some china too. Bishop enters and the ladies immediately leave with Sir Jasper to avoid being seen by another man, that means by Peacewife. Peacewife has brought Honor the letter from Marguerite. Honor reads it and is extremely confused at Peacewife's triumphant attitude. In this part, we find that Peacewife Peacewife has a triumphant attitude because he knows that her wife has sent the letter expressing a disgust in express her disgust to Honor. So he is in a triumphant mood, but Honor reads it and is extremely confused. In Act 5, we find Marguerite meanwhile finds for Honor's laugh and begins to write him another letter. Peacewife forces her to finish what she is writing. He is confused when she signs the letter from Ilithia and tells him that it is Ilithia who is in love with Honor. Peacewife agrees to take his sister to see Honor, and Marguerite dresses up as Ilithia, puts on a mask and tricks Peacewife into taking her in the disguise. Honor is shocked when Peacewife reappears, this time bringing him a masked woman. The woman says that she will only speak to Honor alone, so Peacewife leaves them. Before Marguerite can explain her to Honor, however, Lady Quizet, Mrs. Deity, and Mrs. Squamish are on their way up. Honor hides Marguerite in another room and meets the ladies, who are preparing to get very drunk and have a bawdy evening with him. In Act 5, in this portion of Act 5, we find that Marguerite is also craves for Honor's love and begins to write him another letter. And Peacewife forces her to finish the letter she is writing. But that means Mr. Peacewife is confused when he saw a sign on the letter by Ilithia. And Marguerite tells him that it is actually Ilithia who is in love with Honor. When Peacewife then agrees to take his sister to see Honor, and Marguerite dresses up as Ilithia and puts on a mask and tricks Peacewife into taking her in the disguise. Honor is shocked when Peacewife reappears, this time because this time he has brought a masked woman with him. The woman says, whom Mr. Peacewife knows that she is his sister, but she is actually Marguerite in disguise. And the woman, that means the disguised woman, says that she will only speak to Honor alone. So Peacewife leaves them. Before Marguerite can explain who she is actually, Lady Quizet, Mrs. Deity, and Mrs. Squamish are on their way. So Honor hides Margaret in another room and meets the ladies, who are preparing to get very drunk and have a body evening with him. Outside the owner's house, Peacewife meets Sparkish, that means the fiance of Ilithia, and shows him the letter, which is addressed to Honor and signs with Ilithia's name. Sparkish is insulted and confronts Ilithia in the street to break off their engagement. Instead, Honor drinks with the honorable ladies. Lady Frize finally announces that Honor is her secret lover and is surprised when Mrs. Deity and Mrs. Squamish confesses that he is theirs too. The group agree to keep each other's secrets. And outside the house, Peacewife meets Sparkish, who is actually fiance of Ilithia, and shows him the letter in which is addressed to Honor and is signed with Ilithia's name. Sparkish is insulted and confronts Ilithia, that means meets Ilithia in the street to break off their engagement. Inside, Honor drinks with the honorable ladies, that means Lady Frize, and Lady Frize finally announced that Honor is her secret lover, and is surprised when Mrs. Deity and Mrs. Squamish confess that he is theirs too. The group agree to keep each other's secrets. When Sir Jasper arrives to take ladies home, Honor releases Marguerite, who tells him that she is to be his wife now. While they are in discussion, Sparkish, Ilithia's Peacewife, Orchard, Lucy, and a chaplain arrive. Peacewife insists that Honor and Ilithia should marry, but Ilithia denies any knowledge of this affair. Eventually, she points out that Margaret is dressed up as her, and Ilithia and Hergot are united and agree to marry instead. Peacewife is furious with Honor for cuckolding him and prefers to duel him. So Jasper and Lady return as this scene is underway. Peacewife tells Sir Jasper that Honor has made a cuckold of him too. But Honor is saved by the reappearance of the quack, that means the doctor, who gives Peacewife and Sir Jasper his word as a physician that Honor is truly important, though he is not actually prudent. Margaret plays along with this, though he knows that they are all lying, and resigns herself to a user as Peacewife's wife. In this play, we find that Peacewife meets Sparkish and tells that her fiancé, that means his sister, is in love with Honor. And Sparkish feels insulted and confronts Ilithia in the street to break up the engagement. And there also we find that the ladies also expresses their feelings of Honor, that he is theirs, though they agree each other's secret. And when Sir Jasper arrives to take the ladies home, Honor releases Margaret, and who tells him that he is to be his wife now. While they are in discussion, Sparkish, Ilithia, Peacewife, Harcourt, and the supply arrives. Peacewife insists that Honor and Ilithia should marry, but Ilithia denies because she doesn't have any knowledge of this affair. Eventually, Ilithia comes to point out that Margaret is dressed up as her, and Ilithia and Hergot ultimately united and agree to marry instead. Peacewife is furious with Honor for cuckolding him and prefers to duel him. So Jasper and ladies return as this scene is underway, and Peacewife tells Sir Jasper that Honor has made a cuckold of him too. But Honor is saved by the reappearance of the quack, that means his doctor, who gives Peacewife and Sir Jasper his word as a physician that Honor is important, and though he is not actually important. The quirk lies then to in order to save honor. And Margaret plays along with this. And Margaret also supports this statement, though she knows that they are all lying. And ultimately, she resigns herself to a future as his wife's wife. That is all about the summary. Thank you.